When you ask for the telephone number, we put it into our machine, and once you reach the $50, you get a $5 gift receipt.
Good. So then every time I come in, I give you my phone number.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah, and then I get one free after a while.
Yes. Well, more than, maybe even more than one. It depends on the money. The $5 is good till it's gone.
Or whatever. Sure.
Washte Kohla is a nonprofit organization that's officially on paper. We've been around since about 2003.
Wow.
However, we started about 2001 at Willow Springs. Our founders were, at that time, Bill Babbage, Frank White Eagle, and Ephraim Zizweta. Since Bill Babbage has passed away, but we have Frank White Eagle that's still a member, and Ephraim Zizweta is our spiritual leader.
Sure. So, and you were saying about your meetings.
Yes, we have meetings the last Thursday of the month.
Sure.
General meeting is at 7 p.m. However, they usually start congregating at 6:30.
Okay.
At Hummel Hall. Generally, every other month, we have a guest speaker. And in February, we have asked Paul and Bobby Sanchez, Chumash people, to come and do some storytelling and tell us about their culture. We have a large gathering called our Harvest Gathering, and we fill both sides of Hummel Hall.
Okay, when do you think that's going to be?
Well, we're looking at November 7th, 2009 on a Saturday. We have a drum group that comes that's nationally known. Their name is Crooked Hat. And then we'll have a couple of guest speakers, and then we share our culture, we share the food. We have some artwork that's done and some crafts done locally.
Super.
And it's all free.
And the taser's real bright yellow, and so you'll see it on officers' leg holsters or on the belt, and so that's what those are. The electronic controlled device. It is a device that it's a less than lethal force option that we have. It's been distributed. Almost all patrol deputies now have it, and it's been a wonderful tool. It incapacitates the suspect who could be a threat to themselves. We've used them on suicidal subjects before. Threats to us, and it's been tremendously successful. Is if a person's standing and a taser's deployed, their bodies, they're incapacitated, and usually the injuries are like from falling and they hit their head. But given the alternative, someone armed with a knife who, it could become a deadly threat to law enforcement, who may end up being fatally wounded, that's the lesser of the two evils.
Right.
To get an injury to your head, a boot on your head.
You can come back from a taser, whereas a bullet, you can't come back.
On the 21st, Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we're going to have our second Plane Crazy Saturday, which has two reasons for its existence. One is to let people come out to the Mojave Airport and get a look at some of the interesting aircraft. And if you own an antique airplane, if you display it 12 times a year, you can get a little bit of a tax break, and we have the forms there to help you get your tax break.
Officers, the president is now David Rizzo. And if I remember right, vice president, I think, is George Lane.
If people here in Rosamond wanted AVEK water without the chloramines added to it, do you feel that you and the directors would allow that to happen? Understanding that you don't speak for everybody.
Right, I don't speak for the directors, but as far as I'm concerned, if they wanted to do breakpoint chlorination or remove the water before adding the ammonia, I would be fine.
You'd cast your vote to let them what they wanted.
East of 80th on the Calandry, or former Calandry properties, they're doing some watering and so on, and Christina called them up and asked them what's going on, and apparently that is where they're going to start trying to do some experiments of dust mitigation. As far as I think what she was told they're going to plant is some wheat and some barley. Several meetings ago, when they have a project, as I've mentioned here before, to pump water out of the Calandry and Godey properties. They are going to do a full-blown EIR on that, and that's not happened yet. So we'll let everybody know when that's available for review. But one of the things that a number of us objected to for pumping is doing that without doing some type of dust mitigation. So they agreed they're going to do some experiments and try a number of different things, work with the dust busters that have been pretty successful further west, and they are going to do some dust mitigation measures. So supposedly that's what they're doing on the east side of, on the west side of 80. Several different briefings, I guess, public meetings that LA County Water Works has hosted relative to chloramines. I haven't been able to attend those, but read about those again in the paper. There's, I guess, a number of different views there and so on. One of the things I did remind Norm Hickling about, and that suggested he might want to look into, there's a lot of reports that GAC, which is the granulated activated carbon as an alternative, is going to cost a heck of a lot. And yet AVEK in their plant modifications right now is including GAC as part of their modifications. So
I just want to say hello to everybody in Rosamond. My name is Justin Stoner. I'm the District Director for Assemblywoman Conway. It's a pleasure to be here tonight and meeting your leaders and the community leaders. I look forward to getting to know you and being involved in the community events. Rosamond is a neat community with a lot going on, and we look forward to working with you for years to come. Our main office is in Visalia, and one of the first things that we're going to be establishing monthly office hours out here in the various communities. I haven't picked a day yet. I'm still trying to get a lay of the land and find what's the best time, make the most use of the time, and go to community meetings and things of that nature. And this is certainly a first step, but you can count on seeing us at least once a month, if not many more times.
I'd like to recommend the third Thursday.
What's that?
Third Thursday.
Third Thursday. And long term, I know previous members of the Assembly and the State Senate, they have community individuals who make the rounds and do various meetings, and the Assemblywoman is looking at that possibility as well, just to make sure we're covering the issues and your needs out here. But you're always certainly welcome to email me, call me on the number that I provided on the card. The Assemblywoman took office December 1st. In the midst of ongoing budget crisis in Sacramento, and typically in the first month they'll find out what their committee assignments are, and that was used as a bargaining chip for a long time, trying to get people to crack and go one way or the other. She finally got her committee assignment. And many of you mentioned you were aware that she was appointed vice chair of higher ed. She's also on ag, transportation, business and profession, and the PERS committee. So those are her 5 assignments. As vice chair on higher ed, that simply means she's the ranking Republican on that committee. Oddly enough, she doesn't have a CSU or UC within her political boundary.
That's going to change some when we get into...
With her help, we're going to build one.
Yeah, well, and she's certainly interested in doing that, because this area in her district is very underrepresented in four-year universities in terms of a state education. So that's something there's a lot of brain power, there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of young people here that benefit from a university that would be close by. And so she recognizes that and is looking forward to it.
Basically, these high rate ponds are endless, shallow raceways that keep the algae suspended near the surface in the upper photic zone, and the bacteria move more slowly along the bottom. So again, there's a symbiotic relationship between the green microalgae and the aerobic bacteria. The microalgae evolve oxygen from the water column by dividing the water molecule, making the O2 available to the bacteria. The bacteria oxidize the waste and produce metabolic byproducts, namely plant nutrients, that then the algae assimilate. So you have secondary and tertiary treatment happening in an algal high rate pond. It's an excellent fit in terms of solar insulation, because this is a solar energy driven technology to treat and reclaim water from wastewater. We use microalgae rather than mechanical aerators. Algae are powered by sunlight. So this is an excellent solar insulation area of the state of California.